recently, in the mid of last year in 2010, we conducted a baseline survey in some schools of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, in some districts rather. It was in 5 districts of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa where we were starting our program to train teachers on alternatives to corporal punishment. And before that, we needed to have a baseline. And it was widespread, and everywhere, at every school and every facility where our researchers team visited, I mean, they were told about the incidence of corporal punishment. So it's widespread. And then we come across reports on the media as well as through our volunteers in the field that there are, sometimes such corporal punishment cases where children receive lifelong injuries, and it's one of the major factor of high dropouts in Pakistan. I think it's culturally accepted as well, and the parents and the society in general think that it's okay if teachers or parents, they physically punish children, and that is basically fine for the good brought up and making them a good human being. And some parents also think that they were beaten up by their parents to make them good people, and they are very good, so it has no problem. But we can see, if you compare us, I mean, I don't want to have the or I don't suggest that we should have the Western culture here, or the Western, the way they brought up their children, but the difference is very much there. And we see that that creativity is not there in the children in our country, and that is because they are not allowed to speak at schools, at homes, outside in the society, and they are kept under this pressure, continuous pressure, and which is resulting, you can see now, in this widespread violence in our society. And I think that has a close link with the culture of violence in the schools and at homes.
And then when you're talking about alternatives, what does this mean?
Alternatives usually mean that how how teachers in the schools can discipline children, can help them learn without using violence or physical punishment. How they can work with students so that they can learn better and they can achieve the results that the teachers want to achieve without using any violence. And that is how to manage their classrooms, how to use effective ways of communication so that it's easy for the students to understand what they want them to understand, or what they want to teach them. It's important, and what is practiced there in the society, I mean, what is believed in the society, then that is practiced in the schools and at the homes. So there is a close link between this historical background or traditional background and what is happening to our children at different places, at schools, at the workplace, in the houses, in the mosques where they go to learn Quran. So everywhere they face the situation. There are such issues as well. You are right, and even personally, we have met a number of teachers who think that because of the school environment, because of their training, because of the number of children in schools, because of the facilities available in schools, that also contribute to the situation. I have once we were having a training for teachers in Mardan district in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and after the whole day there was a female headmistress of a primary school, and she said that I'll invite you to come to my school where we have a 4 rooms rented building with 4 ceiling fans and 4 teachers and 800 students and 1 toilet, and then I'll ask you how you manage that. So there are such issues as well, which, you know, she said that it took me 1 hour, it takes me 2 hours only to take their attendance in the morning, and how to then, you know, make them set and make them learn things. So there are these issues are also contributing, and then the teachers' salary scales, what they are personally getting from that are also issues, their job satisfaction in those aspects, because, you know, we know that most of the people come to the teaching profession once they fail from all other, I mean, when they lost all their hopes from other, yeah, so then finally they decide, okay, they can come to schools as a teachers. So that is unfortunate. I mean, we need to give more importance to the teaching profession, give them proper salary scales, proper training, and support them so they, you know, love the job. I think we have, there is a misinterpretation of the Islamic injunctions, as we know, in various different areas, and same is the case with capital punishment, I will say. You have rightly mentioned that the Holy Prophet was always very, you know, polite towards children, and he gave importance to child rights, he gave importance to education, and but we don't see that. And there are basically there are a number of areas where we want to follow what we want to follow. We have the Convention on the Rights of the Child, and Pakistan is a party to the convention since 1990. We were among the first few countries who ratified the convention when it was adopted by the UN General Assembly on November 20, 1989. And Pakistan ratified it within the first year on November 12, 1990. And but unfortunately we could not implement that and could not realize the rights enshrined in the convention for the children of Pakistan. Under Article 19 of the Convention on the Rights of the Child, you know, physical punishment and abuse that is prohibited, and Article 28 makes education free and compulsory primary education as a right of the child. But in reality, in Pakistan, you know, corporal punishment is still allowed even under the law. We have Section 89 in the Pakistan Penal Code, which allows reasonable punishment by parents and teachers and other caregivers. And the word reasonable punishment, you know, it has never been defined. So for you, reasonable punishment could be something else, and for me, it could be something else. So that is an issue. And the Committee on the Rights of the Child, which is basically an implementing body, and where Pakistan and all the state parties submit their periodic reports every 5 years. Every time Pakistan submitted a periodic report, they have strongly recommended that we should abolish Section 89 of the Pakistan Penal Code, and we should introduce laws to prohibit corporal punishment in all settings, particularly in schools. Actually, I think the main responsibility rests with the government and with the state. I mean, the state is responsible to implement laws, to introduce laws initially and then to implement those laws. We need to change laws where there are problems and where their corporal punishment is basically, you know, that is promoted. We have the provincial education codes in the provinces, and I remember some codes from the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa provincial education code, which explicitly, you know, mentions various forms of corporal punishment that can be used by teachers. मुर्गा बनाना, ये सारे उसमें शामिल हैं, एजुकेशन कोड का हिस्सा है. So there is a need, you know, to change these things, and that will help change mindset. Then comes the training facilities. There are teachers training colleges and academies and institutions. The government should, you know, incorporate alternatives to corporal punishment. First of all, I will say the Convention on the Rights of the Child's relevant sections, then the national laws relevant sections, and then ensure that teachers are trained the way that they don't need to use corporal punishment as a mean of disciplining the child or making them learn. Rather, they should learn themselves that how to make children learn through positive means and through innovative ideas.